Hi, this is sort of a unique video. I'm going to use my glasses and I plan to do something talking about my business plan and IPLs and getting all about my recording efforts as Samantha. But I've been feeling something that I wanted to express here. It's entitled um, Dear Therapist, my autogynephilia is quite strong, uh, pretty strong. So if you permit me, I'm going to use my glasses and just read along. Um, all right. This channel is about my evolution as a female impersonator. I've added the journey towards becoming a singer. Well, in this video, I want to confide something. Recently, my urge to present and see myself as a woman has become stronger. Perhaps it's due to stress, like a fantasy escape. I've been working on my music more, imagining becoming a singer-songwriter, designing my presentation as a convincing woman. I've been delving into memories, of course, in order to design this discography. That's likely a factor in all this. So here is my presentation. I would give a therapist, what is going on? Is this just stress-induced autogynephilia? Is this a change that would have long-lasting, happier impact on me? Something like this ought to be given incredible consideration because the consequences are life-changing. And I still hear my masculine voice. I'm going to try to do it better. Um, I grew up with a loving, trusting mother. There were no bad perceptions of men or women, nor women. In fact, the way girls and women interacted with me seemed nicer than sometimes when boys would make fun of me. Um, by the way, I'm straight, I'm heterosexual, I've been attracted to women, and um, I hope I've made that known when I was in school. So that has nothing to do with this. Anyway, um, around age 10, I began seeing women on TV that I envied. They were supernatural characters, mermaids, empathic and telepathic alien women, women with witchy powers, thinking of Bewitched and so forth. Um, I envied them, but there was also curiosity. I'd walk to school the next morning with these fantasies, wondering what it would be like to be a mermaid, an empath, a witch. I'd better be cautious so that no one catches hint that I feel this way. I tried to create some costumes to feel like what it was like. Usually this is when my mom would be asleep. Um, I'd sneak into the bathroom and look at her lipstick. It's difficult to imagine. I didn't at least try it on just once. Um, During my teenage years, this attraction to women and TV continued. I both feel an attraction and an envy to be able to feel what it's like in that body. I managed to buy an expensive custom-made mermaid tail. A tail I have yet to swim in, sadly. By this point, my mom and I had moved into a new house. I was way past college graduation. This would have been 2016. Renting. We were renting. Finally, I had an upper floor all to myself. Uh, Due to advanced age, my mom had become less mobile, so she had the downstairs and I could have the upstairs all to myself. Um, Living upstairs also afforded me freedom to order some women's clothes. Nothing major, likely a wig and some early makeup. In October 2018, my mother died suddenly. The next month, my life changed drastically. I had to find a new apartment to live in. In my new apartment, my focus was on finding a job fast before my funds depleted. However, once I did get a job in a mental health clinic, something inspired me to begin researching dissociative identity disorder. I created this female character where she went to school, some interests she had. I'd go online using a newly created account name. It didn't last long, primarily because I didn't see much purpose in perpetuating what was role playing. As I write this, I'm suddenly reminded of a female player character created for an advanced Dungeons and Dragons group. It's consistent. When given the chance, I'd create a female person to use. Soon, in 2020, I moved up a little. I moved next door into a one-bedroom apartment. I bought a new car. This was my first. If you exclude the one I had for 3 months shortly after college graduation. I soon drove to the shopping mall, bravely walking into Macy's and towards one of the customer associates. I told her that I'm a cross-dresser. I would like to learn how to put on makeup. She nonchalantly applied some foundation to test against my skin color. I also spotted this sign advertising an educational event for transgendered people in another store in July. I went into the store and discovered it was a makeover. That same month, and I did get the makeover, by the way. That same month, I saw this amazing contortionist named Scarlett Business on America's Got Talent. This was a man with a striking, convincing presentation as a female impersonator. If this person can do it, why can't I? I vowed to myself to reach that level of presentation. Then perhaps I could be seen as a woman, therefore experiencing what it feels like. There were other female, there were other female impersonators I discovered online who were equally amazing. I really need a voice coach again. I think I'm becoming soft. I began going out in public dressed up, eagerly asking makeup advice and buying supplies to become more passable. Gotta check to see if it's still recording. It is, okay. Become more passable. I go to grocery stores, park walks, to the shopping mall with a friend. All the while, I decided not to pursue any interest in transitioning because of the permanent impact. As an impersonator, I could simply wash off the makeup. That includes the realization that singers practice their voices by raising pitch. There are voice coaches. By the way, I did a session with a voice coach, and she said that I sounded pretty feminine, pretty good. And I've gotten the same from others, but I feel like I've been laxing in developing my voice. So I've got to keep that practice. That includes the realization that singers practice their voices by raising pitch. There are voice coaches. An idea sparked. What if I could apply my writing talents towards becoming a performing singer. After all, female impersonators have performed as other celebrities. I felt so eager to take my burgeoning, fun fantasy to a new level. That takes me to the latest few months. What has changed? Um, as I've been developing this business plan for Samantha, as a singer, I've been delving into my past for composing these album tracks. I'm up to something like 5 tracks and filling them up. I'm really proud of myself. Um, would my presentation as a woman be convincing for long? Those singers look so attractive. And I guess I should say here that even as I look at my face, I do see masculine, like all over, I see masculine. As good as my makeup is, I can still see masculine features. And I've been very envious of other other female impersonators and drag queens, and I just I've just been very envious and wondered how they did it. Um, would my presentation as a woman be convincing for long? Those singers look so attractive. Recently, I also felt a bit of stress financially, and there were other factors too. I've been thinking of this one girl from high school, and stress about that. And it's funny, she encouraged me, which meant a lot to me. She said she endorsed it. She encouraged it to live out, who I really am, and it meant a lot. And it's sad that I guess we can't talk anymore. But anyway, a week or so ago, I felt this urge to get breast implants. Would I be able to cope with how people reacted to me like that? And I want to say that there was a guy who famously took on a bet for it was some amount of money to wear breast implants and walk around for, I don't know, I think it was like a year or something, months, something like that. And he just continued. It was so fun. I guess he just continued doing it. And so I was thinking of that. I love to feel those breasts. I mean, it's autogynephilia. You have breasts. I know it's a guy thing, I guess. Maybe it's a girl thing too. Moreover, I wouldn't have to fiddle with fake cutlets. And all this, when you get up, dressed up, you have pads and you have cutlets, and you have to do all this extra stuff to create the illusion. A couple of friends have suggested I consider getting a transition. I've been avoiding it. I decided not to for all this time because, first of all, bottom surgery would be out. I know that there's let me take out. I know that you're messing around with hormones, and particularly certain male part that keeps you healthy and something we need. And same thing with women, I guess. When you cut off parts that then you have to artificially inject, and then you get on the medical system, and you have to, it's very costly. So I thought if I did something like that, I would not cut off anything below the waist. That's why I was thinking breast implants and maybe facial shaving, like bone shaving. And then I'll go back to this, but keep in mind there's a YouTuber, actually a TikToker named Finster, who had revealed recently that he had been taking micro doses of estrogen, and within a few months had already experienced, I'll get into this in my thing, but already experienced like a little boobage and the fat redistribution, cheekbones puffier, and that's why I got an IPL. I thought maybe an IPL is I get this right, an infrared light, infrared pulse light, not laser, but light. And I had, I've done it to parts of my body. A few other things, it reduces the hair growth. And if you do it for long enough, the hair growth virtually goes away, which I would be very proud of. I mean, very glad about, because I don't want body hair. Like, I used to when I was younger. I would shave, and just cut myself, and it's cumbersome, and it takes a long time, and especially if you're doing something like this, you have to shave all over, chest, arms, legs, face, neck, and you can't. And I've tried very, very, very carefully not to leave any evidence of hair, particularly on my chest. But having been said, let me go back to this. All right, so alongside this, I looked into one of those YouTube content creators that I envied. Finster had revealed that he's been on microdosages of estrogen. Already, his breasts grew a bit, his body fat redistributed, causing larger hips and butt and more feminine face. I could forego the effort to have padded hips, and all the cross-dressing accoutrements. I could walk into a store and feel, now this is me, how would I feel? If I chose to do this, how would I feel? I could walk into a store and feel like a woman because people would see me as one. Would I mind being perceived as a woman? Now I'm comparing myself to Finster and what he's gone through, and people, at least from what he said, and my eyes too, he said that people don't know if he's a man or a woman, and sometimes it works to his cross-dressing. Would I mind being perceived as a woman? However, no, to be honest. However, there's the legality. There's the legal name change. Would be a whole other thing. If somebody were on the street to call, if I looked like a woman, the fat distribution and natural breast growth and so forth, and leaner muscle, smoother skin, if people presumed I'm a woman and called me Samantha or she, I wouldn't mind. In fact, it'd be kind of fun, and that's kind of where I'm sounding very masculine now, kind of where the question comes in, because I don't know, I want to be sure because it would have long-lasting effects, and I know I'd have to do a voice coach. I'd have to really, really work hard. Really, really work hard. And I would, if I looked really feminine, and I went by my real name, I know it would be odd. At the very least, it would be very odd. I don't know how I do that. how I cope with that. Um, but anyway, um, all right. So changing the legalities of changing my name would be a huge endeavor. Using micro dosages would not be as dangerous as having bottom surgery. Um, the medical problems were the reasons for putting off considering my transition. I have been called beautiful when dressed up. Um, I like that feeling. Um, I've gotten these compliments from people that I don't want to reveal where I'm friends with this person, but she suggested recently that I mentioned this stress and feeling this desire to have breast implants, and she suggested considering transition, um, and I put that together with like um, growing up and like what I said before in here, this fascination, this envy. Um, it's almost like I feel like women, beautiful women, are sort of like a target for my attraction, and I want to feel what they feel like, what it feels like to be in a body like that. Same thing with contortion, and that's a whole other matter. Um, but I've never, as a guy, nobody's ever said that I was handsome. Um, and there's that clinging towards being beautiful, something I really like. Um, Now, another side effect, another problem, I should say, um, what are the dangerous side effects? If I looked like a woman, I would still want to date women. Finding a Jewish woman in my area has been difficult enough. Um, Maybe I'll move, um, and there's some places I thought of maybe where I move, there will be more Jewish women. Um, And the urge to walk publicly as a woman and be accepted is strong right now. Um, there's a close friend. Oh, I've already mentioned this. Oh, there is a close friend I've known since 1993, and he's been close. And he said, I came out to him actually wearing this, and he was pretty impressed. Of course, back then I didn't have the skills that I do now, and he he said essentially, um, it's okay that I do it, but please don't interact with him when I'm like this. Um, that's okay. That's okay. Then there's a cousin that probably wouldn't feel comfortable about me um, shifting like that. Um, and so that's where it stands right now. Um, I thank you for staying along, and let me take my glasses off so I'm not distracting myself. I'm going to practice my voice, and next week I'm going to talk about business plan, particularly coming up with a company logo. Okay, so here's the preview: company logo, and excuse me, a logo for Samantha Bahar, and of course it's going to be purple, and setting up as a publisher, what online distribution sites to use, and all sorts of fun stuff. And how to create the CDs, how to create a master recording. So I'll leave that for later as the motorcycle goes by in the background. All right, so that's for later, and I might even script that one too. So stepping in, I forgot to mention that something obvious, but if I were to take the micro dosages, I'm fully aware that there's a chance that my male part down there would shrink. And I've read about infertility, chances of infertility, and it's something not to be sneezed at. I mean, um, um, everything else would be wonderful from my point of view. I forgot to mention that the expression, the grass is always greener on the other side. And but I feel like this is the Saturday or Sunday when I get dressed up like this for these videos. It's my special day, and when I go back to work, of course, I try to make sure that it doesn't interfere, and nobody sees this side of me. Even though some people at work know about it, and they're encouraging of it, and makes me feel happy. And one of them actually said that I seem, when I'm dressed like this, when I'm talking like this, I seem more content, and I feel happier, and I really do feel that I would be happier. I know that I'm not going to be one of those people that says, I should have been born a woman. I just feel I've lived my life as a man for a long time, and I'm kind of, I guess, I don't know, I'm kind of like Finster, where not quite so, like he's saying, gender fluid, but kind of where he is, in that I want to be able to walk and interact and be seen if I dress up in a feminine way, and be believable, not look like a man. So that's where I am. So hopefully, as I think about all my videos, I hope I'm not denigrating women. I hope any woman who's seeing this sees that I'm trying to do it my best. I put on, an extra special effort. So I'm fully aware. It's what I said before. The two people in my life who would feel awkward, and the infertility thing, which is really those are the two remaining things that would prevent me. So, so that having been said, all right, just wanted to say that. All right, so on. Before I forget, do you agree? Do you think I look masculine? Do you think there are certain features that look especially masculine? That's something. Comment below. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.